Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right, so I'm just gonna come to everybody and say I'm happy with the Lakers, man. We did a good thing yesterday, winning that summer league game against the Charlotte Hornets. Not anything specific that they did that just is so poignant, but just overall getting these victories in the summer league and continuing to defend our title as summer league champions last year. I'm pretty proud of our team, and look at a guy like Max Christie who's taking that seriously. A guy like Cole Swider, they're defending their championship. They defended their championship. They won it last year, and they going after it again. So I'm very proud of that. We got a Celtic game coming up. We got to win that game. I know it's summer league, and we shouldn't care about wins, but anytime we're going up against the Celtics, I don't care if we're playing a summer league game, regular season, NBA finals, some type of side mission football games. I don't care what it is. If it's us against the Celtics organization, we need to win it. It could be a cooking contest. I don't care what it is. The Lakers need to beat the Celtics at everything. Dancers, front office moves, everything. If we're not doing better than them, we're not doing right by ourselves. Period. So that's what I have to say in regards to that. Take it as seriously as any other matchup with the Celtics. And yeah, man, that's really where I want to start this off. I just have a lot of Laker pride, man. And I'm really proud of what the team has done in terms of turning itself around and making themselves a team that devalues player development. And we talk about that every day, and we ain't gonna make this day any exception because player development is everything. And what I'm seeing with what is his name? Jalen Hood Schifino. So JHS. I guess I can get used to saying that. We got to find another way of addressing him, though. That don't roll off the tongue like THT, SGA, JHS. I don't know. VHS. We'll get used to it. Either way, I'm happy with that kid now, more so than I was on draft night, because I'm able to see what he's doing, man. His defensive prowess, his length, and how that affects other players in a positive light on his team when it's time for them to double team people, when it's time for them to switch. When you have guards that think offensive rebound, that think defensive rebound, you got several of them on this team at this point. And Austin Reeves, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Max Christie. These guys are looking to rebound the ball. On top of all of the different things that they do, they got the length to contest natural threes and some fours and beat them to the ball. A lot of ones and a lot of twos definitely gonna get beat by these big guys. So I'm thrilled, man. The only thing that I'm worried about is, did we change Austin's role into something that we don't really know quite where it's going to fit in long term? Is that what we just did by bringing in Jalen Hood-Schifino and Max Christie, that we've forced Austin Reeves into the 3 spot permanently? And Rui at the 4. You know, it's one of those situations. It's like AD and Bron going to be on the floor for 38% of the time. Well, not 38%, but 38 minutes out of 48 minutes a game. They're going to be on the floor. So if I love seeing Austin and Jalen if I love seeing Max and Jalen on the floor together, is Max playing a 3? Because he seems like a more natural 3 to me than Austin is. So it's almost like, do we let Max and JHS come off the bench? Because I definitely want them in a backcourt together. That's what I'm here to tell everybody. And I don't know that I want Austin playing the 3 in that situation. So that's just, obviously there's going to be a million different rotations. What I have rolling around in my head is definitely not what Darvin Ham has rolling around in his. So obviously what I'm thinking ain't going to be nothing to really see. But what I think I'm seeing is the future backcourt of the LA Lakers manifesting before our very eyes. I think my starting shooting guard is likely going to be Max Christie, and I think my starting point guard is likely going to be Jalen Hood-Schifino over the next probably 5-6 years. So something's got to give if Austin's going to play the 2. If he's going to be the starting 2, how the hell can Max be the starting 2? So I'm not saying we have a bit of a log jam, because that's not what I see there. I just see a situation where one of them players is going to have to be a bench guy. Maybe even long term if they're going to be Lakers is what I'm saying. We ain't talking about this upcoming year. Everybody in that conversation is a bench guy this year. But we're talking about like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. Are we going to have a situation where one of them 2 shooting guards, Jalen Hood-Schifino, or one of those 2 point guards or whatever, is going to be gone? Because we have this problem. We signed Austin Reeves to this awesome deal. But now we got this emerging kid in Max Christie coming. I think they all can play together. But they're a bit small if they're playing together. Not in height, but in weight. Although they're all 6'5" or more. And you got Rui coming in. Is Rui a permanent bench guy, or is he gonna play some three? So a lot of these things are just not certain. And where does Max Lewis come in when he's fully develops? He's also a three. Is he gonna be stealing minutes from Austin? Is he gonna be stealing minutes from JHS? What about D'Lo? Where does he fit in all this? Is he the starting point guard? All of these players are gonna make for a good unit this upcoming year. But when it's time to figure out who to keep after this year, that's not going to be as easy as a lot of us probably are thinking it's going to become. I don't think that's going to be as easy as we think. The way our roster was constructed last year, we didn't have Max Christie coming in stealing no shooting guard, small forward minutes from nobody. This year, he's going to demand those. So that's one of the little things that I'm thinking about. I'm like, and then we got Gabe Vincent to consider at the 2 guard too. I'm like, and we just paid him, so you're definitely going to see him at the 2 guard. So it's like, I think there's going to be a situation where somebody's going to be sitting and maybe they're not going to be happy about it this year. I don't know which one of them it is, but I already see that being a situation where we're going to ask somebody to sacrifice. One of you little dudes going to have to sacrifice your minutes. And that's just all there is to it. So that's it. Hopefully it all works out. I think the team is deep. Obviously, we love the depth, but I just wonder if you're going to see more of what we saw happen to Bamba and Lonnie Walker. They're getting set. Winning Gabriel, who's going to be that on this team? And when they are that, we're going to be unhappy. That's the thing. That's the thing. Who's going to be this year's Bamba? Who's going to be this year's Lonnie? Because somebody on this team ain't getting no playing time. And we know damn well there's not a soul on this team that shouldn't be getting playing time. All of the guys we have, we like. So that's what I guess could be a concern for me this season. But it's a good problem to have. It's definitely a good problem to have. And I don't know that everybody on this team will be kept. I think D'Lo's contract likely gets moved at some point in time. I think we're going to give Jalen Hood-Schifino that point guard position, or we're going to replace D'Lo with somebody else. I really believe that. Although I like his contract. Him at under $20 million a year for 2 years, excellent. But because it's only for 2 years, I don't see us keeping it. I don't see us keeping it. So that's someone I think we could probably turn into a center or something like that if we don't get a center in this off market. Or even if we do get a center, I don't think they're going to be a solution that can be that can be gotten for that type of price. Or whatever, balloon to that type of price tag. So I think the Lakers could be in the market for moving D'Lo, probably at the trade deadline, for someone else that is big. So that's what I think is possible. I ain't heard nothing like that, but I usually have a pretty solid feel about these things. And D'Lo at that price, when you have Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's his height, who also is going to project to be as good as him, probably in a different way, you got to see the fruit in moving on from him when it's time. Whenever it's time. Whenever Jalen Hood-Schifino is ready, that's when you move on from D'Lo. So, judging by what I'm seeing, I don't think it's going to be long before JHS is ready. I don't think it's going to be long at all. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. We've been talking about Castleton, how much we like Castleton. He's been great. I just want to see him continue to work his progressions, continue to dominate on the board, scoring the ball. His touch is very impressive, scoring the ball over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder, whatever the motions would be. He's just found a way to get that ball in the hoop over contested arms. And I think that's going to bode well for our Lakers when we use him. And I'm telling you, Jackson Hayes may be a more decorated player at this point than Castleton, but I don't know if he's a better player than Castleton. And when I look at what Castleton can do, I don't know that Castleton won't steal his minutes from him, y'all. I'm just being honest. Because Jackson Hayes has some things in his bag that allow him to be very athletic, jump out the gym, block some shots here and there, really help you. But his basketball IQ is going to need work. Castleton's a basketball guy. That's his mind. He's a basketball guy. You can tell. So it's one of the things where it's like, I'm telling you, I think Castleton's probably going to be our starting center before the end of the year. Unless we opt to keep AD at the center position, or we get some big name center like Ayton or something, which I don't see coming. I think Castleton's just going to be better than our centers. He's just going to earn that spot. So I see that being a real thing, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I'm a believer in playing rookies if they're ready, especially older guys. He's to his age, he's already a 3-year guy. If he would have been drafted the way all these other guys get drafted, he'd been in the league for 3 years. So Collins' time is now, and if he proves himself to be worthy of that position, I think Darvin Ham is gonna give it to him. I do. And so that's something that makes me happy. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about how this team is constructed. I'm excited about Max Lewis and his athleticism that was on full display yesterday. The explosiveness, the long strides. Max Lewis is going to be a hell of an athlete who can shoot the ball, and I'm very happy he's here. I want his development to go well. I am worried about his development as it pertains to the rest of these small forwards this particular year. I don't know if we're going to send him to the G League at all, but if his minutes don't come around enough, I want him sent down there for minutes. As I just think, especially on the defensive end, he needs so much development on the defensive end, and he's so talented on the offensive end that I don't want him turning into no damn Christian Wood. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying to y'all. I don't want Max Lewis turning into no damn Christian Wood. Christian Wood can score 50 points, but can't get nobody to give him $50 because he can't play no damn defense. So that is what we're saying. While everybody's telling us to get Christian Wood, I'm telling Max Lewis don't turn into Christian Wood. Play some damn defense, man. Don't let people come to the conclusion that you can't defend even though you have the length and the metrics to do it. Because that is the worst thing, especially when it just comes down to guys just learning something. And you sit down and just learn concepts and then put the effort in. You know what I mean? If it comes to that, let it be that. You know, don't let it be them saying, oh, we just couldn't get nothing out of them defensively, so ultimately we couldn't use them. Hell no, don't let that be your future, young fellas. Learn how to defend. So that's what I want to say. And look, if we're bringing in Christian Wood, man, I'm telling you, he's a really good player offensively, but he's going to have to play D, or he's not going to get on the floor. Forget signing him and none of that. If he doesn't play defense, Darvin ain't going to play him. So for those who are screaming for Christian Wood to get here, he going to get the same treatment he got from Jay Kidd. He going to get the exact same treatment. If he don't play no defense and if he is a zero player, he's going to get 0 minutes. So that's my thing with Christian Wood. He's too far into his development for me to have that thought about him, bring him into this situation when Bol is on the board. That's all I'm saying to people. That's literally all I'm ever saying. Because Bol's got so much more development to do to where even though he has those defensive deficiencies, I believe our coaching staff can work those out of him. Christian Wood? Nah. He's further into his development. He is who he is. He may get a little bit better, but his weaknesses, they are that. And so for me, it's like when you see enough plays where a guy with all that length and all that ability to score lets people lay the ball up over him who are like 6'1", 6'2", and you see his feet not move at all while guys are going around like, nah, Christian, nah. Defensive deficiencies for a guy that's 7 feet who can do what you can do are just difficult for people to swallow. Forget what we think of it. It's just hard for us to think of it in a positive light because at the end of the day, we've seen too many players with his prototype block shots like crazy. They're blocking shots left and right. They're doing all kinds of stuff defensively. They're doing all. And it's like, you can't mimic none of that. That's what ends up happening. And so it's like, I just wish that Christian Wood was in a different place in his career as to which he probably would not be as affordable. So you probably want to get him now. And because we have Anthony Davis next to us, we're probably the best place for him probably in the entire league. But my thing is, he's not going to be playing with Anthony Davis. He's going to be coming in for Anthony Davis. So it's like, I don't. I'm trying here, man. Everybody's on. See, that's the problem with me. While Laker fans are cheering something on, I'm always over here like this. This is how it goes. And sometimes I'm wrong, man. Sometimes I'm very wrong. Sometimes it is exactly as conventional as that guy is good. He's already gotten to a point where he's shown this. Bring him in when he's playing poorly or has low value and poof. He's going to get back to where you want him to be, as to which you have a ascending value talent. And I'm like, yes, that looks like that could be the case. So if there wasn't no Bol on the board, of course I want to bring in Christian Wood for that reason alone. But I'm telling you, man, if that Bol character is still a free agent and we pick up Christian Wood, I think I'm going to be the only Laker fan throwing things around the room. Because everybody else is like, yes, Christian Wood or Biyombo. I don't want no parts of Biyombo because I know Biyombo's bag is about as deep as mine. He can run, jump, rebound, shoot, block a shot, from the weak side. That's about it. Like, he's not. Nah, man. At this stage, when he doesn't have any upside from here, when he's already doing this on his career, and I'm supposed to bring him in to be the last guy on the team, when I know damn well Darvin Ham ain't going to play him. I'm not bringing Biyombo in, not necessarily because he's done. I don't think he's done. He played well with the Phoenix Suns. He's not done. I don't think he's going to get any minutes at all in Darvin's system. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I already seen what type of players Darvin wants to run. I already seen what type of players the front office allows our coaches to run. Because when we had Dwight Howard with a different coach, did he get on the floor? No. So I'm not bringing in Biyombo. Why? Same problem. I'm going to bring somebody I know Darvin's going to use to play up to value so they can either be a useful player for us or get traded for something. If Biyombo is brought here, he's not going to be either. So get him off that list, man. Get Biyombo off of that list. And I'm not saying this because I don't think he can help a team. Hell, if we had a different coach, I think he could help this team. But as long as Darvin Ham is coaching the team, Bismack Biyombo don't have no place on this roster. So let's make that very clear. For those who are screaming Biyombo, Darvin won't play him. So that's what I have to say about that, man. Bring Bol in. Maybe Darvin don't play him, but Bol is a young talent that you're going to want on this team longer than Darvin's here if you know what you're doing. You don't ever want him to leave your organization. I don't know why any of these teams want that kid to leave their organization. Bring him here, and you're welcome. That's all I got to say. So, what else do I want to talk about in regards to these Lakers, man? LeBron James and Anthony Davis, from what I understand, they're progressing well from their feet injuries. So that's always what we want to hear. That's always what it's about. If they don't need surgery, then it ain't no reason for me to scream that they need to go ahead and have it done. But if they did need surgery, and it's already damn July 10th, and they ain't had it, we got problems, Lakers. But I don't believe that's what's going on at all. I think everything that our organization is doing is showing me that they're on top of stuff like that. And ain't no way no players coming back next year needing surgery not having had it. Not even the King. So that's what my gut is telling me about our organization. That we're about as sharp as the sharpest knife in the world right now. Straight up. And we're doing everything we need to do to make ourselves champions. And we'll see if it shakes out that way. But there's about 29 other teams that ain't doing things better than us this offseason. And usually when that's the case, you see good things happen with the team that's doing things right. So that's what I have to say about that particular thing. I just think we're on point. About as much as I've ever seen since we've been winning championships. I think there were teams that won championships that weren't doing things as well as these Laker front offices right now. It's true. So hopefully for Rob and these guys, they're able to get a ring off of this because they deserve it. Our scouts. I wonder how long we're going to be able to keep our scouts. Because if I'm another team, such and such team, I'm going to throw a lot of money at some of these scouts these Lakers got. So you better be looking for the next ones. I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. What we're doing has to be something that we reapply in action, not just with the personnel that we have. We found the best scouts. I want to keep these scouts, but we got to always be looking for more. Because if someone poaches our scouts, we're without our scouts, and that's what makes us special right now. So we got to keep on. Where's more where that came from? Keep finding the professionals. Keep finding the professionals that can bring us all of our basketball IQ and knowledge so that we can make decisions that make the most sense for our organization, long term and short. So I'm thrilled with who we have in place. And the only reason why I'd want to replace them is if they happen to get a bag somewhere else. Otherwise, we ain't replacing nobody. Not in our scouting department. But, I think guys are going to get a bag, man. I think if I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'm throwing double the money you're paying Jeannie Buss at your scouts. Double. I need them. If I'm Washington, I need them. So that's the truth. Hopefully nobody's thinking like me. But that's how I'm thinking. So that's what I got to say about that. What else is going on? Hopefully everybody's having a good offseason. All our players enjoying their offseason. It's such a long season. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I didn't blink an eye when AD said he didn't touch a ball for a month last year. Like, bro, that's a good thing. I think I was the only Laker fan who saw the positive in that all the way around. Like, bro, decompression is important. Just like rest and recuperation is important in working out. And if you don't allow yourself a chance to reset and let your mind do something else if it's necessary to do so, you're going to burn out. So don't think for 1 second that for those non-basketball junkies who happen to be basketball players, they supposed to be acting like basketball junkies. No, you're supposed to be acting like yourself so that you can get back to being the player that you organically are throughout the season. You know what I mean? But if you like bass fishing, damn it, I don't want you playing no basketball when it's time to bass fish. No different than I want you thinking about bass fishing when it's time to play basketball. This is time for bass fishing. Do what you do, man. Just know when it's time to stop doing that and get back to what it is that you ultimately make money doing so that you can be the best version of yourself at that. So that's what I want to encourage all the basketball players who watch me. Like, bro, don't think for 1 second that you doing more than what you need to do to be yourself. Your best self is going to make you that best self. It may not. It may not. Only if you actually believe it is. If you're putting in more than you should, so to speak, then that's exactly what you're going to feel like you're doing. You know what I mean? So for all of those chasing perfection, that comes naturally to you, keep doing it. But for those who don't, who want to mimic people who have that come naturally to them, it's not going to give you that effect. You're just going to feel like you're doing too much and you're going to burn out. So that's what I want to say, man. Let everybody be themselves. Basketball junkies like me, we can make content about basketball all day long just to cope with everything else that's a problem. That's cool. We do that. But for some who it's a little more difficult to make the content, maybe they have to do other things with their time so that content can be where it needs to be when they reconvene with the camera. And so everybody has to be themselves, and you got to know who you are when you're doing it. I think Anthony Davis knows who he is, and that's why he didn't touch a basketball last year for a month. And as you can see, he came back and had a fantastic season, probably the most healthy season he's had in years. So if that's an application that works for him, then damn it, do it again. That's what I say to AD. Do it again. So, yeah, man, all the support to everybody being themselves out there in basketball land and beyond. So, yeah, man, I didn't really have a lot of information to give you guys in regards to the Lakers. It's not a whole lot there other than we played great last night. And, of course, I did a video telling you guys about the stats on our players and ultimately how well I was impressed with our overall performance in this summer league in Vegas specifically. And so now we just look forward. You know what it is. Our guys are playing great defense. Guys like D'Moi Hodge are making a strong case for why they need a spot, and maybe some other guys that we thought were going to make the team maybe shouldn't. Cole Swider, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm choosing Cole over D'Moi right now. I don't think I am, to be honest. So Cole's got more work to do, and I think Cole's got a path that's going to lead him into the NBA. It's going to be a little more difficult, I think. And I'm just saying that, not hopeful it will be. But just looking at some of the competition he's going up against, it's going to be a path that he's going to have to keep at in order to find himself in that league as a starter or as a real role player. I just don't know if he's going to get this Laker position right here. We're bringing in too many kids on top of him. That's what it really comes down to. A guy like Alex Fudge, I'm supposed to send him away now. D'Moi Hodge, I'm supposed to send him away now. Like, that's what it really becomes. Like, they only allow you 3 two-way guys. So I'm afraid my guy Cole, as talented of a three-point shooter as he is, in year 2, I just feel like he's being flushed out a little bit by the other talent that's coming in that it just has more upside. And I want to see what Fudge looks like in year 2. So if I'm working with Cole Swider in the G League in year 3, trying to help him get to his best self, but I got to send Fudge away in year 2, you know what I mean? It's a cruel game. It's a cruel world for that. And it's only 30 teams. You know what I mean? It's only 30 teams with 16 spots. So, you know what I mean? I tell guys, keep working. Because you see guys like George Niang, and you know what I mean? He ain't the most athletic dude, but you can clearly see he's made a real bag in this league. I think Cole Swider got every bit of George Niang in him. He could be George Niang or better. So, that's why I tell a guy like Cole Swider, don't take what I'm saying as a trigger to start playing baseball. Hell no. You could hit shots. So you just got to work on your athleticism, continue to stretch, continue to do all the stuff that makes you as comparable of an athletic player as you can be. And then from there, hit the damn shots. As long as you're hitting shots, it's going to be somebody who values that over anything else. So that's why I tell a guy like Cole Swider, your three-point shooting is definitely NBA level. It's that other stuff that needs to be comparable to other guys in order to be chosen. So good luck to Cole, man. I'm not telling y'all to send him away, but I am telling you that there's some guys that have usurped him, and because of it, it's going to be tough not to. That's just what I'm saying. So being real about it, man. You cut me too. I can't play no ball. So you go cut me for Alex Fudge as well if it makes anybody feel any better. At any rate, that's what it is, man. I'm just very excited about our young talent. And hopefully we can continue to keep everybody, man. Hopefully the NBA will expand us to 4 or 5 two-way contracts with the collective bargaining agreements that will be coming 2 years from now or 3 years from now. Because I don't think it's enough to have just 3. Hell, I want a whole team full of them dudes. Why? Because I think they can balloon other things that can be more lucrative for me than signing, say, George Niang at $50 million for 3 years. Like, I don't need to do that when I find me a Cole Swider that I can pay on a rookie contract. That's the point. So, yeah, give me about 5 or 6 of them dudes, and then all I really need to pay is the 8 dudes that's going to actually play in the finals for me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the Nuggets did. They only needed 8 of them dudes. The rest of them dudes could have been on $1 million contracts, and they could have pocketed the rest of the money. They never even seen them play. So for me, it's like, I don't want to spend no $50, $60 million on role player X. Just give me 5 or 6 two-way guys, and I'll pay 3 of them role player X's, and then the rest will be my stars. That's all I need. And if my scouting department's any damn good, then I'm going to get something out of them young kids, because they're going to be Castleton. They're going to be Austin Reeves. They're going to be Caruso. You feel me? So if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to get the most out of all of that. But 2 was never enough, and 3 also. So that's what I'm saying, man. More two-way guys. Yeah, man, that's where my head is. I'm excited. I don't know what's on docket for the Summer League today. I didn't check, but I know there's some games, so I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy them if you report back to me. Saw Wembanyama yesterday. He put up a good line. Blake Wesley is fast with the Spurs. I'd love to see him on the Lakers one day. Just random stuff's coming to mind. Offensive rebounding with guards. We already talked about that. It was somebody who really stood out. Amari Bailey. We've been talking about him for the Charlotte Hornets. He's going to be a real player for them. Not that you guys care because we're talking about the Lakers, but since we went up against them yesterday, I'm telling y'all that that is one of those guards in Charlotte that I would not get rid of. We're going to choose somebody else. Remember I said they needed to choose between Book Knight and Smith, and of course Melo's in place, but Rozier and Bailey. Bailey's staying, somebody else is leaving. I'm telling you right now. That's how I feel about that. He's too sturdy on both sides of the floor, and he plays bigger than his small stature. He's 6'3", he plays like he's 6'5". So that's what I like about Amari Bailey. He just continued to be relentless coming at us yesterday in the Summer League. He just didn't stop. And I think it was another guy on that team that looked just like him who played like him too. So Charlotte got some guards, man. And, yeah, Amari Bailey's definitely a player that out of UCLA, maybe the Lakers can target some years down the road as a two-way guard who can play some 2, I think, just as comfortably as he plays some 1. So that's a guy I don't think I would have drafted at 17, and he definitely wouldn't have lasted to 40 where we drafted. But in between there, I think they got good value for him with the Charlotte Hornets, and he's going to be an impact player for them if they put him on the floor. So that's what I want to say. And that had nothing to do with the Lakers, but like I said, I do not care, man. I'm giving y'all what's on my head. So that's pretty much it, man. That's where my mind is. Now we wait to see what center we bring in. It'll likely be Christian Wood, to be honest with you. That's what everything's pointing toward. Hometown kid just taking the bag with the Lakers and hopefully hiding his defense and deficiencies behind Vando and Braun and AD and whoever else on the floor, Castleton. Hopefully they can just hide him enough, and he can do just enough on the weak side to block a couple shots into the third row to make us feel like he's playing some defense. Because that's really what I expect from him defensively. Block some shots, and that's about it. So, yeah, man, Christian Wood, I'm rooting for you to turn back into that 30-point, 11-rebound guy, man. I really am. I remember those days. I had you on multiple fantasy teams. I know exactly how